Hey, what's good, folks? It's RFG back at it today, and I'm here to basically explain, go over exactly who Dave Chappelle really is. All right. Now, we all know Dave Chappelle, the famous comedian that basically blew up in between 2002, 2003 ish with his show. All right, the Chappelle Show. Now, this guy got linked up with Comedy Central, and everyone who considers themselves woke understands that Comedy Central is part of the Zionist-owned media system. So anyone who wishes to be part of the Zionist-owned media system, they have to undergo certain Freemasonic rituals to get their accolades, to get their fame and their fortune. All right. So Dave Chappelle was no different. Now, every one of these particular actors, actresses, entertainers, musicians, or comedians, if they want a supreme amount of fame, they're gonna have to undergo a ritual. All right. Now, the ritual that they wanted Dave Chappelle to undergo was, of course, the homosexual ritual, and that starts out as getting roles and parts where you wear dresses, where you wear female dresses. All right. Now, from what I've seen, Dave Chappelle was in one movie where he wore dress-like attire, and after that, he said he didn't want to do it anymore. All right. He didn't want to, go any further, because after that, they were going to, bring him to one of those Hollywood parties and show him, how they really get down, and he was going to undergo the full Freemasonic homosexual ritual, and he tried to opt out of it. All right. So what happened was he went to Africa. And when he went to Africa, the media in America started making fun of him and started making him look like he was crazy. All right. When he came back, they let him be for a while, and then I believe they ended up finding him, killing him, and cloning him. All right. This is the Dave Chappelle, I believe that was shown in 2015 or 2016. This is the real Dave Chappelle. This is not the real Dave Chappelle on the right. All right. This Dave Chappelle right here is darker. He's slimmer. All right. And his eyes, he has more life in his eyes. I always look at the eyes. All right. Now look at this person's eyes. They look swollen. He has black spots around his eyes, and that's signs of parasites. He's a little lighter, and the main thing is his physique. Look at his physique. Right here, you can see he's a naturally slim person. He's a naturally slim person. All right? Right here, he looks like he's big bone. Not only does it look like his muscles are bigger, it looks like his bones, his bone mass and his bone structure are bigger. All right? I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that. And when you look at Dave Chappelle's humor, in 2016 to now, Dave Chappelle's humor is not the same. All right? His humor is watered down, and it is compromised. I'm going to repeat myself. The Dave Chappelle of 2016 to now, his sense of humor has been watered down and compromised. Not the same person. I believe there was also information on social media where Dave Chappelle's cousin stated that this is not his cousin. This is not the cousin that he remembers. You see? So like I said, it's nothing for them to just kill you off and to take your blood sample, take a sperm sample, and just make a replica, a replica of you, with no fucking organic soul. You see? See, they did the same shit to Gucci Mane. As a matter of fact, the Dave Chappelle clone, I believe, appeared just a little bit after the Gucci Mane clone. That's pretty intense. That's pretty crazy information, but it is true. All right. Now I'm going to break down how when Dave Chappelle first started, the elites sat him down and told him what their plans in the future were. This is how Dave Chappelle got the ideas for some of his most famous episodes of his show. Now let me explain. There was a Dave Chappelle episode where Dave Chappelle played the president, and he had to get on national TV and tell America that they knew about aliens and UFOs. All right, Dave Chappelle had to play the president and tell the American people that they know about aliens and UFOs. Why is this significant? On April 28th, 2020, the Pentagon released video footage, all right, and claimed that they made contact and know about the UFOs and the extraterrestrials. The Pentagon reported that they know about extraterrestrials, and they reported it on April 28th of this year, 2020. Okay? So the government came out and told us in real life that they know about the UFOs and the extraterrestrials. All right? This was shown in Dave Chappelle's fucking comedy skit. All right? But let's continue. Dave Chappelle also had an episode where so-called black people received reparations. All right? I know you guys remember this. All right? When black people received reparations. Now, what else happened in 2020? Everybody got the stimulus check. Everybody got the fucking stimulus check. Now, why is that significant? Folks, not only did the government give out stimulus checks, the government also gave out grants. They gave out business grants, and they gave out business loans to damn near everybody. All right? The government, they also said that the White House agreed to give out a second stimulus check. So now there's going to be a second stimulus check that's going to be released sometime in August. Okay? So the stimulus checks are $2,400 per person, and then when you include the grants, that's an extra $10,000. So we're talking bare minimum $12,000 per person. All right. Now I'm gonna show you how the stimulus checks are really the fucking real reparations for so-called black people. All right. I'm gonna break this shit down. So pay attention. Listen very carefully. All right. A lot of people were coming at me in the comment section of this post on Instagram, and they were saying, oh, you can't compare the stimulus checks to reparations. Yes, the fuck I can. Yes, the fuck I can. You know why? Because if a family of 7 people are awarded, or let's just say 7 random people in the same family are awarded $20,000 through grants, loans, and stimulus checks. Okay? So 20 times 7 is 140. So if 7 family members are able to accumulate 20 grand from the stimulus checks, the grants, and the loans, that is $140,000. With $140,000, you can literally buy land. You can buy land and build your own fucking buildings. Build your own goddamn infrastructures. Okay? So, another thing is, this is another reason why this whole stimulus check shit and this COVID-19 grants and loans, let me tell you why that is the real reparations. Because so-called black people cannot receive anything that is labeled reparations. I'm going to repeat myself. People who are labeled black cannot receive anything labeled reparations. Why is that? Reparations are designed, okay, and defined as funding for nations and for tribes. Reparations is set up and designed to help nations and tribes. There is no tribe of people that are labeled black, that are called black. There is no black tribe. There is no black nation. There is no black tribe. There is no black nation. All right? Black means wan, colorless, albino, pale, sick, near death, blank, void. That is so-called black. All right? And so-called black people and African American people can receive no reparations. All right? But you motherfuckers sure did receive them goddamn stimulus checks, and you can't say that there was no ulterior motive behind that, because when in your fucking lifetime have so-called black people ever been given free fucking money, free thousands of dollars for free? Better start waking up. And see, they're gonna try to debunk this information with fake ass, stupid ass articles like this. In a historic move, North Carolina City approves reparations for black residents. Now let me tell you how this is a mind fuck and this is a goddamn lie. Now when you read this article, all right, everything sounds nice until you get to the section, all right, right here. It says, the unanimously passed resolution does not mandate direct payments. Now, this was for the city. It's a small city in North Carolina, and I already looked at their population of so-called black people. There's only about 10,000 so-called black people in this city. Okay, Asheville, North Carolina. There's only 90,000 people. There's only 90,000 people in Asheville, North Carolina, and there's only roughly 10,000 so-called black people in Asheville, North Carolina. And then on top of that, they said the unanimously passed resolution does not mandate direct payments. So this means their definition of reparation is not a direct payment. This means that they're going to make housing more affordable, and they're going to try to help so-called black people with generational wealth, and they're going to give them more incentives and benefits and bullshit like that. But it says the unanimously passed resolution does not mandate direct payments, which means your so-called reparation in Asheville, North Carolina is not going to be a direct payment. Okay? So therefore, in my opinion, it's not a real fucking reparation. Okay? So like I said, these stimulus checks and these COVID-19 grants and these COVID-19 loans, so-called black people are never going to see anything closer to reparations. So-called black people are never going to see anything closer to reparations than these stimulus checks and the COVID-19 grants and loans. All right? All right, so that is another prediction that Dave Chappelle was spot on about, was dead on. All right, this is the third thing that Dave Chappelle predicted on his show. Dave Chappelle had an episode to where after so-called black people got reparations, the so-called black players of the NBA left the NBA to create their own league. The black players in the NBA left the NBA and created their own basketball league. This was shown in Dave Chappelle. Guess what? On June 16th, On June 16th, Kyrie Irving stated that he wants to start his own so-called black-owned basketball league. On June 16th, Kyrie Irving said that he wanted to start a black-owned basketball league. Okay? But you know what's crazy? I don't even think that this was scripted. I don't think this was scripted at all. I actually agree with Kyrie Irving on this move and this decision. And I think that all so-called athletes should be looking to start their own league and get from under the control of, the warlocks that run this professional sports leagues. Okay? I also apologized to Kyrie Irving after he made this decision, because 3 years ago I made a video claiming that he was an agent, but I didn't understand that Kyrie Irving was just going through his beginning phases of his awakening. All right? And throughout his beginning phases of his awakening, he was fooled by the flat earth psyop, and that's where I had my disagreement with him. But as far as him gaining a knowledge of self, gaining the knowledge that so-called black people are indigenous to America, I agree with him with that. Him wanting a black-owned league, I agree with him on that. Him calling himself an alchemist, you see what I'm saying? And him having knowledge of the signs and symbols of the indigenous people, I agree with him on that. You know what I'm saying? Him wanting justice for, so-called black people getting gunned down in the streets, I agree with him on that. All right? We need to start looking at the subjects and the things that we agree with each other upon, as opposed to what we disagree with each other upon. You see what I'm saying? We got to utilize this time to nationalize, organize, and come together. Because like I said, we will receive no reparation under the label of black and under the label of African American. Do you know that after 400 fucking years of slavery, so-called black people were never called African until 1988. I'm going to repeat myself. Supposedly 20 million so-called black people were taken against their will from the western coast of Africa to the southern states of America. All right? And it took the slave masters 350 to 400 fucking years to label us African. Folks, it's a hoax. It's a scam. It's a hoax. It's a scam. You're not African. You're not African American. You're not black. You're not colored. All right? Your true identity. This is your true identity right here. This is a true tribal identity. This is a true tribal identity. All right? This is a tribal identity. This right here is a true corporate nationality. So this is the corporate nationality for so-called black people in America. This is the corporate nationality. This is this right here is the tribal identity and the tribal nationality. You have the tribal nationality, you have the corporate nationality. All right? So basically, if you don't claim one of these two identities, ain't nobody getting no goddamn reparations. All right? And more than likely, people aren't going to listen to me. People aren't going to listen to Bobby Hemmett. People aren't going to listen to the 13th Son. People aren't going to listen to Noble Drew Ali. People aren't going to listen to, people out here who are putting in the work and getting this information out here. They're not going to listen. They're going to listen to the agents. They're going to remain under the labels of black and African American. okay, and so-called colored. And this is gonna be their only form of a reparation. You see, and Dave Chappelle, he already saw that shit. He already broke that shit down. You know what I'm saying? And what's crazy is in this episode, most of the so-called black people didn't do anything but make corporate America more richer. They didn't come together and get land. They didn't come together and claim a nationality. They didn't come together and acquire significant vital resources. Nope. They went and made the racist corporation owners even richer. Yep. Very, very, very deep shit. These episodes came out in 2002, 2003. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's really my breakdown of the significance of Dave Chappelle. I'm gonna be uploading. I want to say about 2 or 3 days from now. If you guys have any suggestions on any new breakdowns of movies, TV series, or cartoons, just sign up for my Patreon, and I will be responding with those videos by request. So I appreciate everyone who supports RFG and Atlantean movement. Please like, share, and subscribe. It's the Chosen One, man. I'm out.